possible.
I'm recording.
Okay?
Sorry.
If you bring in a very small amount, then there's no wiggle room for the CPU. It's got to devote all its resources to processing that audio because it's got to get it out within this limited window of time because you've only given it 64, bytes of data. And so it's got to process that. And so if you have all these other apps running, like video apps and streaming apps and stuff,
And Zoom,
they
and
also
everything.
need your CPU. So if you're making Focusrite eat up all your CPU by its processing just the audio part, then the audio usually starts getting choppy. And so you up the buffer size. It's the buffer size we're talking about. And even to 1024. With 1024, you can tell there's a little bit of lip sync loss. There's a little bit of a delay, but it's still not terrible. With 512, usually it's not noticeable at all.
There you go.
If you were a piano player or a percussionist wanting to be monitoring through the headphones through your recording software, you'd set this lower because you want to hear what you did as fast as possible with no delay.
Yeah, so that'd be like, so if you and another musician were playing like in Zoom together, you would want that very low because you want those to match quickly.
As close as they can.
Right.
It's called latency, the latency. The larger you set the buffer, the more room you're giving the CPU to work. So it's a little lazier about the latency. It is a little bit of a delay because you're giving it more time by expanding the buffer. But by giving it more time, you're also freeing up that CPU to do other jobs elsewhere on the computer instead of having to always rush back to get the audio work done. And so you're really kind of squeezing it for time if you set that buffer too low. That's all the things when you're running video and streaming and all, you're really asking a lot from your CPU. So typically we only use in professional audio recording, we only use those low buffer rate speeds specifically when we're recording the pianist or the percussionist, sometimes the guitarist. Guitarist is kind of funny. They'll act like they're all sensitive about this. But what guitarist have you ever seen that sits right on top of their freaking amplifier? The amplifier is always 10 feet away. So the latency is already,
Actually, I've seen the Who knock
11 millisecond, 15 millisecond range.
I've seen the Who knock theirs over. They've knocked theirs over. I've seen them do it.
Yeah,
so they were pretty close. No, anyway.
But they always act like they're all so sensitive about it because you've got headphones on. Give me a break.
I was noticing this yesterday, Terry. The ASIO, if you look right here, it says default, and all these others are 512, and this one's 1024. Does that mean anything? I mean, is that anything?
Yes, the default for the ASIO means the default that you've got that you set using the software.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
The others for the MME, WDM, and KS. Voicemeeter does not support Wasapi, which is the latest version of Windows Audio.
It's also a great Chinese. It's a great Chinese side dish too.
It's also a great side dish. And but it supports WDM, which is recent, kernel streaming, which are recent. These are both going back. Kernel streaming goes back to Vista.
Oh, wow.
WDM was added in Windows 98, and MME's been around since DOS.
Oh, wow.
And their initials for things. KS means kernel streaming.
Windows
something. WDM is Windows driver.
Yeah, something. Management.
And MME is multimedia environment. But kernel streaming and WDM now are kind of merged. They're really the same thing. Kernel streaming is just like an improvement. And so WDM is the one, you see they both got the 512 buffer setting. Now, similar to your ASIO buffer, you can, in Voicemeeter, adjust the buffer settings for Windows Audios. Windows Audio's 3 different engines, because these 3 engines are running in Windows all the time. There's 3 different types of architectures for audio,
Interesting.
and they're always working. So depending on the one you're using, you can set its buffer to be lower if you want lower latency. Or if you're noticing you're having some problems with CPU load, you can raise the latency. But typically these numbers work just fine. However, if they're not, like especially with the WDM and KS, you see how the MME is really high. And this was the bane of Windows existence. All musicians complained that there's no way they could monitor through their headphones what they were playing because the delay was so huge. You know, it was not just a small delay. It was like, did it? You know, it's like you felt like you were in a slapback echo machine. And so you really can't do much about that. That's just Windows audio. You can lower it a little bit, but you'll start getting that cutting out, that breaking up. Mostly with WDM and KS, you can lower it a little bit, but mostly the reason for having these settings in here in Voicemeeter is to raise the numbers in case your CPU is
right. It starts getting choppy. Right. It's getting choppy and you need some more room to go to.
Right.
Okay.
Needs more room.
All right. So and you and I, when we originally did this hardware input, when we originally did this, we made it the ASIO 1-in-1, which is what shows up over here.
Right there, patch ASIO input strip to strips. And what this does is it takes the channels that are available in your interface and maps them directly to a strip. So you see that middle strip, hardware input 2.
Yeah, this is it.
Michael's microphone. And so what we've done is we've directly hardware patched it to Voicemeeter's mixer.
Mm-hmm. That's why you don't see it.
So we don't have to go through Windows audio system in order to grab it. We're doing a direct patch of the ASIO system to Voicemeeter by using that. And what he's got is he's used both channel 1 is in both the left and right channels, making a mono, forcing a mono. So he's not using his channel 2 for anything. He just has his mic plugged into 1, and channel 2 is empty. So this way he doesn't have to push the mono button or remember to push the mono button on the strip because he's sending the same input to both left and right on the strip.
Yeah. So right here and right here.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to turn one of those off.
It's like a Y chord splitter.
Yeah.
Just split it out.
Turn that off completely, then you see that's only one, then I'd have to mono it to make it go into the both.
Right. But since that's easy to forget, you just kind of make it permanent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier. I mean, it's easier like this.
Yeah. And then what we were going to try to find out was why today's big problem is we're wondering why it is that when Michael switched between the B1 and B2 outputs from his microphone, he got a tonal difference from the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Here, pull that over to the left because it's behind the pictures, the thumbnails.
Like
there
that.
We go. So you see, right now we're using Voicemeeter aux output, the aux VIO. Oh, we didn't call it B2.
Well, here's B2 up here, right?
Oh, there it is up there. Okay.
Yeah. Even though it has cable B, which is confusing to me because there's no cable B up here, but.
No, we've got something labeled wrong. Something switched on us.
I'm telling you.
Something renamed itself.
Here's VIO B1.
That now actually is VB Audio Cable A. They've changed their assignments. Yes, last night, those were not assigned there. You know what happened when we reinstalled Voicemeeter? I bet it fixed something that was a mistake.
Oh, really?
And we had manually corrected that mistake and then installed the new Voicemeeter that probably had repaired that mistake. So we have to go back into the sound thing and change the names again.
All right. Well, let's go do that.
Okay.
We're right here, right?
Yeah, to recording.
Oh, yeah, recording. Never mind. And go down the bottom.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so first let's change the ones that are wrong. Your VB cable A and cable B are wrong, so let's name those cable A and cable B.
So output.
Yeah, that should be cable A.
Just cable A, output B or
Yeah.
something?
No, just cable A.
Oh, just cable A. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cable A.
Not that you use that anymore. Since we
No.
went to Banana, we stopped using these cables.
Yeah.
Banana's already got that second strip, so we don't need a cable to send it to a strip.
Yeah. And isn't there like pineapple or something?
Potato.
Like, oh, potato. Yeah, I knew there's a new one. So these are A
Okay,
and
so
B.
this is the one we want to just assign that that aux bio
Right here.
and regular bio. So aux is B2.
Aux is B2.
There you go.
Yeah. And B means broadcast.
Yeah, it means broadcast.
And this is B1.
It's what sends out. That's the output from Voicemeeter.
Output. Yeah. Output is the key too.
It's the output to the other recording software. The output that can be tapped into by other softwares.
Like StreamYard, like OBS. If you're pushing it out to those things, or Zoom even, if I want to push this out to Zoom, this is the way I'm pushing it out.
Now show them the B buttons we're talking about. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So up here.
These, see the B1 and B2 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
These are the buttons we're referring to.
Yeah, B1, B2.
And so now they're showing up correctly in the listing. When we go to Zoom, we can tell, oh, we're getting our source from the B1 button or the B2 button. We know exactly what it is because it's showing up with the correct labels.
This is what's broadcast, right? I mean, this is what you're sending out. So if I wanted to, okay, so for example,
and the A is for audition. That's just for listening.
When Terry talks, you see how this meter goes up. When I talk,
hello,
this meter goes. Now, if I don't want like you guys, or if whoever I'm broadcasting out, whatever my live stream is, if I didn't want them to hear him, I would, wherever I'm broadcasting, if I have it set in, let's say StreamYard or something like that in B2, then I could hit that and B2 would not hear that. They would not hear that sound.
Right. Whoever B2 is getting sent, wherever B2 is getting sent. And lots of software can tap into the same output, Voicemeeter output at once.
I just tried to help myself out and put, hey, this is the Zoom, and then this is my computer, my Windows. I tried to set those two. Not to confuse, don't confuse these though, because this is where I get confused, and Terry usually ends up yelling at me that I'm thinking that that's B1 and B2, right? Yeah, there's that finger, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, my Zoom is this and my Windows is that. That's input, right? Is this input or output?
Yeah, those are input strips.
Okay. So there's a difference.
The B's are outputs.
So
but
these
they
are
use because Vincent Burrell used VIO and aux for both the strips and the outputs. It confuses people because they don't realize that he used the same term for for input and for output. So they think the aux they think that the strip is the B button.
Yep. That's exactly what I think every time. I mean, I do that over and I mean, you have to remind me over time. It's crazy.
Yeah, the strip is not the B buttons. The strips are input strips. They just happen to have that naming convention that he used.
I wish it do.
That adds confusion. So that's why we went into the thing and literally put in the B1 and B2 for the outputs, so that we know for the recording, under recording.
So technically,
playback,
if you look at technically, if you look at my Zoom right here, I have it set to B2. So if I were to hit this B2 here, oh yeah, microphone, right? B2. If I would have clicked this, you won't hear me anymore. You shouldn't. Is that correct?
Right. We won't hear you anymore.
All right.
Oh, I hear him fine, don't you? I love messing with him like that.
You sound great.
Oh, so anybody rewatching this has no idea, and you're probably lying.
Yeah, okay, I lied, folks.
Yeah, we couldn't
I'm
hear
sitting. I'm not lying. I'm sitting.
Well, you see, we wrote right in there. We overcame the ambiguity by changing the name to say this is the B2 button, this is the B1 button. So we actually changed the name and properties in Windows, because that's where Zoom is getting its naming, is from what Windows delivers from that sound control panel. So we just had to change in that one place, and every single app that looks for things will see that naming convention. We could have changed it to anything, to Petunia. But we didn't.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, but a botanist would have known the difference. There you go.
So by me having
speaker, when it says speaker, it's not really referring to a literal speaker. It's saying, this is what I'm going to output Zoom to. Exactly. This is what I'm going to send Zoom's audio to. Now, speaker is your standard use for where you send audio. But that doesn't mean it has to be. We're sending it to Voicemeeter's input strips.
See, what's interesting is, like, I just changed this to VIO, and you can see right here.
Yeah. See now the meter's working on the left strip, because he changed it to be this one, the VIO. Now change it back again to
it comes up
there, and now I'm in the right strip. Okay, so those are
here is. Let me just play. I'm gonna see if I can play some. There, I'm playing some music.
Yep.
The problem, and that's showing up on Windows, right? I mean, that's over here. And when you talk, it's over here.
And that's because you set your Windows audio to have that strip be the default playback device.
Right. And for you guys, since Zoom, I have Zoom in here set to come in off of aux. I can, and that's output, right? I mean, this is output up here where we said, right? Yes, says output. If I turn that off.
Well, say specifically what output. That's Voicemeeter's output coming in.
Yeah, Voicemeter's output.
As a microphone.
So you should not hear the music right now.
Right.
Is that correct?
Correct.
You don't hear the music because I turn. So that way, if we're doing a show and Terry's talking and I really don't want to listen to him, I can go watch a video and nobody else hears it. because I'm really not interested.
He does that.
There you go.
So see, I'll talk anyway.
I know, it's true. So now on A2, since A2 is set to my headset, I don't hear it, but you guys are still hearing it. And I can see it's bouncing, so I know it's playing. But you guys hear it, and I don't.
Yep. So just remember, think of the A's as multiple auditioning outputs for monitoring.
What I don't understand, Terry, and I don't know, it's probably me. I'm just going to say, so you don't yell at me, I'm going to say it's probably me. For some reason, I went off of A1 to A2, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
No, I do know why. Remember, you're plugging your Bluetooth headphones into your speaker. Okay. You have to select your A1 device. If you have an ASIO professional device,
yes,
then the A1 has to be assigned to the ASIO device in order for the buffer settings and everything to be driven from the ASIO device.
Okay, so that's what the headphone jack on the Focusrite. That's what that's for. If I was to plug
that means headphone jack on the Focusrite. And the Focusrite's two output jacks on the back.
Okay. And then so
the
here's
A2, so your Bluetooth would work. You sent it over to the Realtek, which is your computer audio, and so it would send it to your headphones.
Okay. So let me ask you this: since this is my computer sound, the Realtek or whatever, would that, even if I had my headset connected to the Focusrite, would I hear the computer sounds, or am I confusing it again? And I may be confusing it again.
It would depend on if you had the Focusrite
This
set
turned
as the default audio device output device,
Oh,
or
okay.
had Voicemeeter set as the default
Okay.
audio output device and sent it to the Focusrite
Okay.
to
I
the
got
A1,
it.
then your Windows Audio would go. But
Oh,
that
okay.
default playback device is set in the sound control panel in
Gotcha.
Windows.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's good to know. So
Well,
yeah.
let's find out if that microphone quality thing changed. I didn't hear any quality. You just did it a minute ago, didn't you?
Did I?
No, that
No.
was the playback. Let's hear your microphone under the
B1?
that one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Images. All right.
does no change.
No change?
Right.
No.
Remember, it turned into like AM radio
Oh,
last night.
Yeah, it's not
I
muffled
don't
or
re-
anything.
I don't remember because I didn't hear what you're hearing. And even if I did turn my headset on, it
Oh, yeah,
still
that's right.
sounded
Because you
good
were
to me.
hearing direct through the Realtek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So I
when
did
we
not
heard
hear
it,
what
because
you
we
guys
were
were
hearing it through Zoom. You were sending it those two different signals, which theoretically the B1 and B2 are sending the exact carbon copy of each other. And yet, when you were using it, we were not hearing carbon copy. We were hearing two totally different sound qualities.
Yeah, it had that
Not
barely
anymore. It
sound.
looks like the upgrade fixed something. What's
Well,
more, it might have been related to that confusion that Windows was having in the naming convention.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know we were going to a convention, and yet.
Well, I got my Turkish hat, and just in case.
I hear you. I'm going to do a live unlisted stream to StreamYard because that's what I do when I go to when I go and use it. So I'm gonna check and see everything. One thing before I do that though, let me go here. And one thing before I do that though, I want to go into OBS just in case OBS, because that's where I pull in. There's my game show. This is my OBS. I just want to make sure all these settings are correct too. And this would be with under
definitely.
audio.
Yeah, because we changed the meaning of A and B and C and D and E and F and G, and I could go on.
Yeah. So I do have the 48, which is good.
Right.
And then stereo. And then devices. I don't need any of these because I don't use this anymore. But if I were to go live, let me ask you this. If I set these, is it just pounding resources and using this?
Not really. It's just digital.
Okay. All right.
So you may as well leave it off. If you're not using it, could be a resource.
Okay.
Mild resource hit.
So just don't. Yeah, just don't.
Yeah. But you can show what that menu looks like when you drop it down.
Okay. Like this one right here.
Yeah. And you see now we have the new names with the B2. And you scroll down, you'll see the B1.
B1, B2.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
OB1 and OB2.
In other words, so those are the outputs from the mixer coming in that we're using as a microphone. So rather than just being a mic, we're using a mic mixer, which is so that we can get multiple mics. Now, OBS does have its own mixer built in, but the Voicemeeter is just so much more convenient and better featured in terms of the switching and everything. So
right, exactly. Okay, good. So that would be where I change it right here under this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could so let's say I stream to OBS, not using StreamYard or anything, just straight up OBS, and I'm streaming out. What I would want to do is, in order to control you guys' sound from Zoom, I could have Zoom as aux, and then my microphone or the Windows sounds under VIO as output. So that way I can control those and turn those off if I needed to.
Wait a minute. It sounds like to me like you just confused strips with outputs again.
I probably did. Yeah. So this is, okay.
These are mixer outputs. Voicemeter.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So if I wanted to, I want to have two things.
Remember, they're identical.
Gotcha. Yep, that's right. I got you. But I can turn them off though, right? I mean, like I could turn the sound off. let's say my Zoom sounds, like your sounds when you guys talk. You saw over here on Zoom. It comes in over here whenever you guys talk. But I don't want OBS to receive that sound when you guys talk. I would turn that B2 off. And
yeah, well, all the switching, the reason for the B1 and B2 is so that you can have some things that go to all devices and other things that only go to one. The main reason for it was originally for Skype calls, so that you could use Voicemeeter and be recording and be sending it to recording software or whatever, and but not be sending the person's voice who was talking to you back out to them, making an echo.
Right. Okay.
But you could still send it. So to the B1, you would send it to your recording software. The B2 wouldn't be their voice still, but you wouldn't send that to Skype.
Gotcha.
So you would send only your mic to Skype. You'd send your mic through the B1 to Skype, but not their mic, not their strip.
Gotcha.
And usually you had their strip in the second strip, or in the days of the cable, we only had the cable and 2 strips on the left. We would it was the same idea though.
See, like I even labeled it a long time ago when I was using OBS as sending it out. I had my mic sound and then I had the guest Zoom sound. So I could control those. If I wanted to turn those off individually, I could. So I brought those 2 sounds in. So this is where I did that, if I'm not mistaken. And you correct.
And now you can switch those in scenes. So
yeah, true. But see, like I would make this my mic or whatever, audio or what, I don't know, one of those one and one the other, then that's the way it would switch, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
One of those was B1 and one of those was
B2. The other.
Yeah. And then that way I could I could still have the music playing for like when I did, 1-word clue, 2-word answer, but yet you guys weren't heard. That's kind of the way.
But again, the whole idea is just so that you can select which assignments, which assignations, as the British would say, that you were going to employ for those different inputs.
I always thought those British people were talking about me.
I know.
Assignations.
More like assassinations.
Okay, so that's that. So let's try this now. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Why did I do that? Let me go back to.
Oh, turn on the recording. Oh yes, you were recording this on purpose. That's right.
Yeah, I am. I meant OBS. Okay, so OBS is back. Now get that off screen. Now I want to bring in StreamYard so we can look at that. So this is what happened to me last night. I didn't have the right sounds chosen for the audio going out. I had my mic was on focus and they could hear me fine because it was directly.
Oh, yes.
But but the speaker was not correct. And now in order to get you guys and the desktop sound out there, because this is totally different. There's not you don't have a separate channel for these two.
It uses its own way of labeling, apparently.
It does. It does.
So you just have to remember the VIO and the aux VIO.
Yes, exactly. So this one is going out to the people. So this is the one that I have to have you guys going out, I guess. Is that right? I have no idea. I know I hit a couple things till somebody heard sound, and then Russ said, "Yeah, I hear you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, got it."
Yeah, well,
these are inputs.
What's so confusing is the way they label the stuff.
Yeah.
The speaker is going to an input strip. So that's the secret, is don't just think of the word input. Think of the word input strip.
Mm-hmm.
Add the word strip, and now the picture, the visual image of how Voicemeeter looks and how it has strips for inputs. For 3 for hardware inputs and 2 for virtual inputs.
Right.
And so you think of input strip, and then when you see the word input, it's not as confusing.
Interesting.
And B, the B's are the outputs from Voicemeeter. So see, it says Voicemeeter aux output for the mic.
Yeah, for the mic. Yep.
For the mic. So those are Voicemeeter's outputs are always the B's, broadcasting stuff.
Right.
And the inputs are always the strips, input strips. So you might think output button, input strip. Output button, input strip.
Gotcha. So I guess this is set right? Voicemeeter input, bio, whatever.
Vio, well, that's a playback. That's what you're sending. Is that StreamYard?
Yes, it is StreamYard. Yes.
This is what you're sending StreamYard's audio to monitor it.
Right. So if I wanted to, this is what's going out to the public right now. Because this is what's streaming out. When I start StreamYard and I hit go live, these are the sounds that are going out to the public.
Well, yeah, but the speaker thing is for monitoring. And so you're sending the monitor to an output to the mixer for monitoring.
Okay.
Now you keep clicking mic.
I know.
Go back. Speaker. Speaker means monitoring. Monitoring device. And see, there's a test button so you can test it.
Yeah, so I can hear it.
I can hear it. We all can hear it because you're sending it to the Windows. If you show Voicemeeter when you hit that.
Okay. Sending it to Windows.
Coming in the Windows audio, which is the Vio. That's the Vio strip.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's just for your convenience monitoring. Now you might, if you have it set, you could be sending StreamYard's output to the world, also out to itself again, twice.
Oh, I see.
Because you're monitoring through the mixer. So if you're not careful,
you could get the echo.
if you just wanted to monitor it without the world hearing your monitoring, then send it to the Focusrite or to the Realtek,
The Realtek?
Yeah. There it is. That'll just go to your Bluetooth headphones for monitoring. Now, if you click test, you should hear it on your headphones.
You guys don't?
Oh, wait. Something is strange. I shouldn't hear it. Do you have to hit close for it to take?
Oh. No, because
Remember,
my Realtek, I think, is coming here, though, isn't it? Or no?
No. Is it?
Well, maybe in Zoom it is. No, that's not right.
No, you got to watch out for this
Voicemeeter. That's our Voicemeeter stuff. No.
No. I think you have to close that box for it to apply it.
Okay.
Okay, let's open it again and test it again.
It's on Realtek.
Oh, that is totally weird. We shouldn't hear that. You don't have the Realtek set to what you hear, do you?
Realtek. Focusrite. Realtek.
That's just a playback device, though.
Yeah, that's A2. That's in
A2.
That's the
That
speaker.
has nothing to do with what we hear.
That's my
on
headset.
Zoom.
Gotcha. That's true. But if I turned, I wonder.
No, this has nothing to do. When you push that button, it kind of totally blew my mind. You should not have heard your test. Because we're not even sending it to Voicemeeter. You know what I'm saying?
Right, we're not.
Oh, if you're having issues, try restarting your browser. Maybe that's what it is.
Thanks.
I don't know. It's very strange.
And maybe you do. Maybe you have to come out. Let me leave studio and come back to studio. And then,
Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what they mean by speaker. You know, they also, it might be like what they call desktop audio in OBS.
Right.
Meaning you're playing back what the speaker what's going out the speaker.
Yeah.
And since you have sound going out the Realtek for you to monitor,
Yeah.
we're hearing it because that's the speakers that it's monitoring. Let's try picking something else and see if it hears anything. Something you definitely don't use.
Speakers A1.
Yeah, cable A, we don't use.
Yeah, I don't hear that.
Okay, now so nothing's going on. So that must be it. Speaker must, see, I never read the manual for your thing here, but speaker must be similar to what they call desktop audio in OBS. That it means that you get your microphone and your Windows audio.
In StreamYard, not OBS, in StreamYard.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about.
StreamYard.
Yeah. Okay. So it really doesn't matter.
I'm just saying speaker is equivalent to what they call desktop
Right.
audio in OBS.
I got you. Okay. Okay. So
it's just, that's like you said, that's just its source. But since you really shouldn't even need a speaker setting, that's redundant because you're getting all your audio out of the Voicemeeter mixer.
really,
See
so
what I'm
just
saying? It's
just set
redundant.
so you can
Yeah,
leave
set
that
to A.
table,
Yeah, set to A.
then it won't
And
matter.
it still should work. You still should be able to, because all our audio is coming from Voicemeter, microphones, Windows audio, everything,
It's all coming through.
all coming out of the Voicemeter as a microphone.
Okay. Got you.
So you don't need the desktop audio.
So basically Voicemeter is the one controlling
the whole enchilada.
the whole thing. And that's
It's
the
set up,
reason we use-
StreamYard's set up for simplicity's sake,
Exactly.
that whatever your default playback devices, whatever you're hearing audio from Windows gets sent to StreamYard, and the microphone gets set separately. But we're doing it all in one package where every Voicemeter's the source for it all. Microphones, desktop audio, and Zoom and everything.
Michael, have you checked your Stream Deck now since you've made the changes, or do you need to? Okay.
No, I have to go through that whole process and make sure.
Well, you should check it now. Let's make a sample video.
All right, let's see here.
Don't list it. I hate getting those notifications of your tests. Oh, it drives me crazy.
I knew I didn't like him.
Oh, Michael's testing again.
All right, here we go. There we go. So that's it. Now let me go to the game one. All right. So now whenever I go to here, I have 7 actions happening. So I have this where B2 equals 0 and B2.
Ah, that's great.
Strip.
So it turns off B2.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep. And
yeah,
then,
I heard that Voicemeter got included with Stream Deck, and I just hadn't
I know,
invested.
it's incredible. I love it.
Wow.
So B2 equals.
Why do you
0.
have an OBS studio scene?
Because that's what I'm bringing in. I'm bringing in the 1-word clue, 2-word answer.
Oh, I
And
thought
that-
you weren't even using OBS. Oh, okay.
No, I use OBS. That's how you see the game show.
Oh, of course. Duh.
It's the OBS virtual camera.
Yes.
So then I have a delay. I have to put a 10-second delay because that's how long this video is.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to have a delay before the next function happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that scene can finish. Once that scene finishes, then I click and I set B2 to 1, which turns it on. That turns that back on. Yeah.
Right. And B2 is the Zoom audio.
And then
coming
B2,
out.
Strip 4,
Essentially.
strip 1 and strip 4. See how it says strip 4 and strip 1?
Yeah.
It's 0. 1 is my hardware input 2. I know this is confusing, but Voicemeter starts with 0. So for example, this is
the way it listed in there.
the way it listed. Right. Exactly. So for example, this is 0. This is 1, which is my microphone. This is 2, 3, and then you guys' sound is right here, 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 1 and 4. Everything I'm doing is to 1 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see here.
That's fantastic.
You like that, huh?
I love it.
Okay. So, yeah, no, I think that's what I think is just awesome. So what I do is I make sure, like I said, let me go back up to the top here. So when I first hit that button, what it does, it mutes the mic on 1. You can see down here, strip 1. Yeah, let me go here. Strip 1. It says it's strip 1. So it turns off this B2 on strip 1. This is strip 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's doing. Hold on a second. Let me. I have to just think. And then the next one turns
So that
off.
keeps your microphone from.
Yeah, strip 4 B2. So that way we could be talking in the background while it's doing the, hey, 1-word clue, 2-word answer. And nobody hears it.
Oh, that's when you're scolding me and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And the
And
bonus rounds. You always start a bonus round so you can diss me. Yeah, and give me a hard time.
And then here's where the studio plays its thing, and then it has I have a delay so it can finish its scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then before I turn the sound back on, B1 strip gets turned back on. You can see down here. And then B4 strip gets turned back on. And then I go right to the everyone, which if you look in OBS, this is the everyone. So it brings me, it goes through that whole process, plays 1-word clue, and it mutes the other guys, and then comes back to everyone. So that way everyone is in screen over there during the game. I have all that automated. So that's how I do that. So I guess this is set right because it's set to B2. So thanks for reminding me to check that, Russ, but I got it. I mean, it should work with that. And then I have the bonus round, same thing. I have 6 actions and I do the same thing, stream delay and all that kind of stuff. And I don't bring it back to, because that scene.
Well, how come, why do we get to the bottom of why we haven't been hearing the 1-word clue, 2-word answer?
Why you guys haven't?
Yeah, on Zoom.
I think it's in Zoom because because I have this, I believe my output is sent to B2, so you won't hear it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
see. You're turning off B2.
I'm turning off B2 so you guys don't hear it. I used to have you guys, actually I think, yes, I forever I had in Zoom you guys on B1. You guys were always on the output B1. So if I turn that on, now that we figured out that that's okay, remember not having the crackling, I should leave that on B1, right? In Zoom. So that way you guys would hear it.
Yeah.
I have this turned on to B1 right here in Voicemeeter, you guys will hear it.
Yeah.
This is the Windows sound coming in. You guys would hear that.
Right.
Yeah. And
Okay,
meanwhile, it turns you off, turns me off on B2, which is what I want. I want that to happen. But see, B1, we could all still be talking in here and would hear each other.
Yes.
We could still be talking while we're muted to the real world out there, because in StreamYard, that's what's going out to B2 or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's.
Because I have to make sure StreamYard is set to, and the microphone is set to the, I don't know, B2 maybe?
No, well, yeah. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. The only thing I have to make sure, the only thing now, okay, so I have it set right in Zoom. So now I have to make sure here in StreamYard that what's being pushed out is just this would, well, I'm controlling that in Voicemeeter, what you said. I'm controlling that in Voicemeter. Yeah, and it is B2. Okay, so I'm good. So no matter what, B2 would be sending that computer sound, but not our sounds, because these B2s are muted.
Right.
During that going out.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there? I mean, that's a lot of, if you think
You
about
practically
that.
have to know trigonometry to figure this stuff out. I got a polynomial graph all set up.
I heard that, and you need to go have that looked at. I heard
know. I'll see a doctor.
Polynomial graph can be just brutal, I think. So yeah, so this, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this again, right? Now that I have everything set up the way I want.
Save it again. No, lovely idea.
Save
just
settings.
right over what we did last night.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yep.
And then right here, I think is the second one. Let me just expand that so I can see. Oh, it's this one. Okay, so here, just right over. Boom, save. File. I know it already exists. Yes, now, so if I'm having issues or I've changed something or I freaking changed a setting, don't like this or whatever, I can always go back and change it. So here's what I want to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a recording. I'm going to give you guys the link to the unlisted video so you can go watch if you want to. Okay. So that way you can hear if the sounds are good or bad out there. You can leave comments or whatever. So inside this Zoom, I'm going to, here is the YouTube, oops, whatever. You guys know what I'm doing. If I spell it wrong, who cares? Link. Boom. You guys inside this Zoom, you can go get that, click that link, and you're going to see that page out there. And I'm going to put hello. So you guys can see that I already put a comment on that video, but I want to test the sounds and stuff to see how this is going to work when I do. I'm going to actually kind of do like a game show so you guys can hear all the sounds. You can hear our sounds. I will put all of us on screen just as if I'm doing a game. And let me turn this at large. Boom. Yep. Andrew, cousin Russ over there. I see you guys left a comment. I can actually bring that up on screen. Am I still screen sharing with you guys?
Yeah.
I am? Okay. Do you want me to or no? Okay.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay. Because here's when you guys, this is what I'm doing whenever during the game show on StreamYard. This is how I bring your comments in and do whatever. That's what I'm doing. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice to be able to do
I made
that.
a comment and it didn't show up.
It will.
I see it.
How upsetting.
No, it takes forever. Trust me.
You said howdy while
Oh, that's why we're on YouTube. 40 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. Well, whatever. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Twitch is almost immediate. It's
That's
just
because
like,
they have servers in every town.
see, there you go. There's the howdy world turns. There you go. It'll be over here in a little bit. It just takes a while. That's why a lot of times the super chats would come up on screen because I have them coming on screen from the channel, and then I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see it over there on the right. I'm like, okay, I don't know what it. And Heather's like, something's coming. Be ready. Something's coming. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing during the show. Okay, so let's go live with this. It's unlisted, so we're okay. All right, so let's see. And it's going to be messed up, but I don't care because I don't have 6 people in here. I only have 5, but it'll work. All right, so during the show, I'm using my Stream Deck, and I hit.
You just went live on YouTube.
Okay. If I hit play.
I hear an audio twice in a second.
Yeah, you should probably turn your audio off if you're watching.
It's 40 seconds. That's right. Oh my God, I look like that.
There it is. So you should hear the sounds from, I should have all this. I'm going to kind of shrink this down so we can see what's going on with Voicemeeter as well. That's kind of really small, but whatever. So yeah, that sound's bouncing. It's going out to B2. And then I can go to the second person. When I go to that, there's the second team. Yeah, that sound's bouncing. Oh, somebody has their sound up.
Yep.
So if I hit clapping, there's when Terry talks. You can hear when Terry talks. This bounces over here, which is good. If I do the clapping, somebody won. Somebody got it. When Terry talks, you can hear when Terry talks. This bounces over here, which is good. I do the clapping, somebody won. Somebody got it. Wow. Somebody has their sound turned up. Who is that? Terry, probably. You don't have
okay. It does seem to be working all right.
Does it? And then right here, one word clue. That should mute us. We should be able to talk. You guys should be able to talk.
2-word answer.
And that should not be going out there while that's on. One word clue.
Yep. 1-word clue, 2-word answer sure works.
With no talk in the background, right?
Right.
Okay. I was just making sure that there was no talk in the background because that's my concern during that because I want to make sure that we are muted.
Let me double check.
All right. When you guys talk, when I go to bonus round, make sure we're talking to one another. Like right now, we should be talking. Everybody talk. Say something.
Yeah. One word clue, two word answer.
Talk.
Okay. So there's Russ. There you go.
Talk.
There you go.
Blah, blah.
Okay. So you shouldn't have heard any of us, but you should have heard the bonus round out there on YouTube.
Out there while that's on. One word clue. Yep. One word clue, two word answer. Sure works. With no talking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's quite obviously cut back in as we're talking. So it switched it out.
Okay. So it is switching it out. It's doing what it's supposed to do. That's the main
Yep.
thing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the main thing. And the sound sounds okay though. You don't have the broken mic like you did last night, or you couldn't hear the
I'm listening
Zoom.
on Zoom. On Zoom, we have no crackling whatsoever.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now you might go check those cables. Since you've got them installed, make sure they're at 48 too. You want everything to do with your system as much as you can. All set.
I'm gonna
to
end the broadcast. Let me end the broadcast. I'll do that first. I'm gonna expand this. I'm going to leave studio. Okay, now I don't need that. I can put that up here.
Cool.
All right, now what did you want
Go
me
to
to do?
sound settings.
Where? Oh, where I normally. Okay,
Windows sound.
gotcha.
And the sound control panel,
Mm-hmm.
which they say they'll eventually replace. I don't see how they're going to replace it but anyway, what I usually do is I go through both the playback and recording tabs, and every one of the active devices, I make sure they're at the same sample rate.
Which is the 4,800 or whatever, or
Yeah.
48,000.
Yep. I just double
So,
check.
double
Like
check
the cable
everything.
B, what's it going? And it's always in advanced.
That's 48.
Yep. And what
That's
24-bit
48.
does for you, by the way, versus 16, is it guarantees you don't get overloads as easily because it's giving you a lot more headroom, so you can't overload the microphone as easily or the output as easily.
So what'd you just say? Say that again.
16-bit versus 24-bit.
Okay.
16-bit runs out of volume space at the top, dynamic range, right? From the quietest to the loudest, it runs
Okay.
out of space a lot faster. At 24-bit, you've added tons of space at the top, so you can mix at lower. You can have lower settings, like it be at -10 dB. You don't
Okay.
have to pump everything up. Like you always do a +6. Well, at 24-bit, that's totally tolerable. It can handle it because
I got
you
you.
can handle up to +24, I think, without overloading.
So like this cable B under recording, I need to change that one, right? Because it's at 24.
No, 24
No.
is good. It's at
But I
48.
need it 48.
44, yeah.
44.
You want that to be 40. Not that.
48.
You want that to
48.
be 48. You want everything at 48.
Okay.
I
All
was
right.
just
That's what
explaining why there's 24-bit versus 16-bit.
Right. Gotcha.
It's mostly to do with headroom.
Gotcha. Just to cover, just in case. Wow, look at that one's 8,000. That's terrible.
24. Maybe what we
Oops.
That's really bad. That's way lower than AM quality.
There's 16. This
Yeah,
so
that's
this
okay.
is my
You can use
48.
it.
Okay. This device is being used by another
you on it?
application. Huh?
What device are we editing?
This is the Samsung. I don't know if you can't see it probably. This is the Samsung what do you call that mic? Lavalier mic.
Oh, but you're not using it, so.
I'm not using it, but sometimes when I have a guest, I might have them use it.
Yeah, well, now it'll sound good. So go ahead.
So just leave it.
Hit okay.
Okay. Hold
And,
on. Now, hold on. You made me mess up everything. I got to put my wires back. Dang.
you're not wireless?
Not my keyboard.
Well, I sure ain't wireless.
Yeah, I can't.
I
do
impressed the
wireless
maintenance
keyboard.
man that came in here the other day with how every single wire is up off the floor in my studio here. We're like, whoa, you have so many wires, but none of them are on the floor.
Dude, you are so wired.
So I can clean.
All right, microphone, nothing. Microphone, mini cam. Don't even use it, but that's okay. Oh, it doesn't even go to 48.
They don't always give you the options.
Nice. That's why I don't use Manicam.
That's one nice thing about Voicemeeter is, you know, if you don't have to send it a different sample rate, then that's good because it's not using up computer resources to do a sample rate conversion. But if you are sending it a low sample rate and you've got it set to a higher one, it'll do sample rate conversion, which in this case is, it just pads it with zeros and it's not a big deal.
There you go.
Okay.
Pad it with zeros. Go to 32. Go as high as I can, right? Get close to 48 as I can.
Yeah, and 32 is plenty good for most vocal mics.
Okay. And these we set yesterday, I think, right? Didn't we set these? No. Look at there's 44. Wow. That might have been why that was screwing up yesterday too. Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah, maybe. Of course, now it's cut out, so we can't hear you. You'd have to restart Voicemeeter. Go to menu, restart audio engine. No, at the top. Restart audio engine might work. See at the top? Yeah, that one might work. Let's see if we hear you. No, you'll have to shut it down. Well, I guess they give you those warnings for a reason.
I guess.
Oh, well, Michael, this might be the end of the session. Looks like we tested everything, though. But now that you've gone and done that, you'll have to probably restart the computer. No, his microphone shows it's doing something. Well, yeah, but we just changed. There you go. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, because in Zoom, whenever you change the settings, Zoom automatically changes and goes to whatever the hell it wants.
Oh, to any nearby device that
whatever. Yeah. I'm surprised I wasn't on Chipper's microphone.
Well, allow me to shake my virtual fist at Zoom for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So at least that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So. All right. So
well, everything's tested and works.
Yeah, that's good. Now I'm curious now, since those were off, I wonder if these are.
And you changed the cables, right? Cable A and cable B?
Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, to 48. Why does that matter? Because I don't use cable A and cable B. I'm just curious.
Because it's still running in the background as a driver.
Okay. So you just want that to be consistent is what you're saying?
Yeah, just to be consistent, it helps it so that if Windows is sending it any kind of stuff, it's not having to undergo sample rate conversion.
Right.
Which is something Windows does.
Okay.
But whenever you are doing sample rate conversion, you're using up resources. And with as intense as you're using your computer, you want it as optimized as you can.
That makes sense. So good.
Well,
That's
some apps, if you suddenly start sending it a different sample rate, it will get confused somehow, start changing the sample rates of the other devices. Like, well, thanks, Windows. You didn't really have to do that. But it does it.
I see. So for me, this is nice too, because now I can, if Terry's talking, I don't want to hear him. I just turn this way down. I don't hear him. Nobody.
Does that work?
I can actually mute too.
Yeah. Well, I just built an override device that keeps it, makes it so I can override it.
You made sure my settings. See, that's the only thing about you setting on my sound.
Yeah.
He builds in back door so he can play.
He's in my clutches.
So for you guys, now that I have Zoom set to B1 like I used to, which is good, I can.
I don't hear you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Isn't that clever?
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. And then B2 would be out to StreamYard. They wouldn't hear us right now. That's exactly the way I want it. So that way, when I'm watching my obscene videos or something, I can just mute that where you guys don't hear that.
I've seen the same videos.
Oh goodness. Wow. Lots of learning. That's a good thing. This is going to be great for the community. I'll be able to share this video with the community as a workshop. So you guys can come back and hopefully somebody can learn something from it. I hope. I mean, that's what my intentions are. So
maybe if they can get over the terrible puns and crummy jokes.
Hey, that's part of the workshops, you know.
That's right.
Those are free.
I want it to be fun and everything. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. Thanks, Terry, for walking us through that.
I'm glad we got all that fixed.
Yeah, me too.
I want the game show to be perfect where the audio works immediately.
Exactly. You know, I've always heard that too, especially everybody that talks on audio and everything else. They say, I mean, not audio on YouTube or anything else like that. They said you can have a screwed up video, but audio is so important.
Yeah.
So important. Thing. It is, no matter what.
It'll turn you right off if the audio stinks.
Yep.
Now we're going to have to wait 2 weeks to find out if it really works because you're not having a show next week.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think that's
well, you're just lucky I got over Andrew taking the win last night. We were neck and neck for so long. What, 45 minutes, neck and neck.
There you go. So now maybe I'll do a Voicemeeter video now that I understand a little bit better. I'll screw it up and then let Terry critique it. I'll just do that. I'll just do a live video out there for everybody. Maybe we could have you on Wednesday on one of our shows. Have you come in and do one of our shows.
What time?
It's always 5
p.m.
p.m.
morning. Don't worry, I got a 9:30 doctor appointment Wednesday morning.
5 p.m. Eastern is when we do our show. So
okay, I'll go out east and be ready.
Okay. Oh man, Terry, you're a mess. No, I appreciate you taking the time though.
Okay, my pleasure. I got to drink more coffee.
I'm going to stop the recording. Anybody has any questions in the community or wherever, you know how to reach me, especially on Hangouts. I always answer there. So ask your questions in the community. I'll stop the recording. We can chat a little bit longer, but I'm just going to stop it for recording purposes. And boom, I will stop.